As you reported yesterday, and last week actually, the job saver, there'd be a new job saver from New South Wales. Matt Kean, the New South Wales Treasurer, has been scathing in terms of his critique of the federal government.
Well, he's gone for it today again, hasn't he? Well, this New South Wales federal stoush over their JobSaver program, pretty ugly for the Prime Minister, because it can be used to suggest that Scott Morrison doesn't care about what has happened to the people of Sydney and New South Wales over summer. Here is a letter that New South Wales Treasurer Matt Kean wrote to his federal counterpart Josh Frydenberg yesterday, where he reiterated he would welcome the federal government supporting New South Wales businesses which are struggling to stay open. I've been out and about in Sydney over summer, and indoor businesses have been a ghost town as people have sought to avoid the virus. Well, the letter reads, New South Wales Treasury advises that if cases increase in February with the return of school, as is expected, the Omicron wave is forecast to cost the New South Wales economy $5.8 to $6.3 billion over a 3-month period, equivalent to around 3.5% to 4% of quarterly gross state product. The letter from Kean to Frydenberg goes on. The brunt of this cost is being borne by small business in hard-hit industries such as hospitality, tourism, personal services and small bricks and mortar-based retail. The New South Wales government has made a huge financial contribution to fighting the health and economic impacts of this pandemic. He puts that at $45 billion and adds, it is appropriate to amplify this point. This is a national economic shock. The Commonwealth has the capacity to offset the cost of business support through higher corporate and income tax receipts from the resultant economic growth. And as a sovereign government, the Commonwealth receives preferential treatment in bond markets and in central bank asset purchasing programs, which enables it to, well, borrow more easily, frankly, but he says more easily finance COVID support activities than state government. Well, here's Josh Frydenberg saying today that you have to draw a line somewhere.
I've had requests from other states and the answer has been consistent, which is we're bringing to an end that emergency economic support. We're moving to more normalised settings. But I do point out that South Australia just yesterday announced their own small business package. They never came to the Commonwealth asking for financial support. They met the costs themselves, and obviously we welcome what New South Wales has done in that regard.
Well, to take this stance 3 months before an election, with your poll standing the lowest in 3.5 years, when you previously matched the New South Wales government on JobSaver, have spent $100 billion on JobKeeper and just committed more than $1 billion to koalas and the Great Barrier Reef, I think it is very courageous indeed. Apparently the theme of Scott Morrison's speech at the National Press Club tomorrow will be around Australia's economic resilience and the way out of COVID. That will be an interesting pitch given the way businesses are suffering in Sydney and Melbourne in particular, or who have suffered during this summer outbreak, Kieran.